Okay. We are live. Let me post something on my community page that we are live.
It's my pen.
Community page that we Hi guys, happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. Honorable Elijah, what did your children do for you today? Join the live and share. Unmute yourself and come and share. Hi family, happy Father's Day. Guys, we are live. I'm going to share the link to the live so you can just join and then ask any question you have. I can see that we have about 39 people who have joined already. I'm going to share the link to this live. Hey, 43 people. Nice. Guys, I have shared the link to the live. You can just join and then ask any questions that you have regarding this topic or any topic at all. Myself and Mr. Deza Suleiman will be very, very happy to, give you answers if we have answers to your questions, okay? Yep. So I did a video not long ago about the fact that the Migration Advisory Committee of the UK, they did an extensive survey and research into a particular visa pathway. Okay, as you know, they wanted to know if it's being abused, if they should continue it, and all of that. If you don't know the Migration Advisory Committee, they actually do researches and they advise the UK Home Office, the Home Secretary, and the UK Immigration on what to do regarding certain visa pathways. So you will hear that, oh, now you cannot even bring your family if you're on a student visa. Yeah. Who did that research to know that that pathway is being abused is the Migration Advisory Committee. So their opinion is very powerful. Okay, and the Home Secretary and the UK Immigration, they listen to them. Okay, yep. Now the interesting thing is that recently this Migration Advisory Committee, they did a research on certain pathways and they came out with very great news. They are saying that when it comes to the IT and engineering pathway, so we have Zenobia who has joined. Hi Zenobia. Zenobia, I would really love to see your face, honestly. I would love to see your face. So the Migration Advisory Committee said that these pathways, they don't see that pathway is being abused. Okay. Yeah. They are saying that they raise very, very important points. Let me see if I can read some of them to you. So they are saying that there are no major problems, okay, with this particular pathway. What does this mean? This means that in the next coming years, this pathway will still exist. Unlike the care pathway that they are saying that no, is coming to an end in June. The Migration Advisory Committee saying that this particular pathway, there's no issue, so it's like they should keep it going, right? That is good news for anyone in these sectors. Another thing they said is that there's proportionate use. So they are saying that these sectors, although they rely on international recruitment, they also have their own domestic people that they give jobs to. So it's like they're not issuing way more visas, like the way the care visa, like they had to rely so much on foreign personnel. So it's proportionate, so it's good, right? And another thing that they said that we can talk about later as we go on. Guys, I'm sharing the link. If you want to join and ask questions about UK job opportunities, anything at all, just kindly join. Zenobia.
Hi.
Hi, can I see your face?
I'm just lying on the floor.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Oh. I just prefer it this way.
No problem. Zenobia, do you know the gentleman I'm on with today? Does he look familiar?
I think so. I think I've seen him once.
Okay. What was he doing?
Yep.
What was he doing?
I don't know. I think you were interviewing him or so.
About what?
Something of that sort.
About what?
I can't remember.
Hey, Zenobia. Are you sure you've been watching? Okay, so he's the founder of 10 Analytics, the popular 10 Analytics.
Oh, okay. That's lovely.
Yes.
Right.
Do you have any question for him or myself?
Oh, okay. I have been to the UK before. I was in Wales.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So I would love to come back.
Okay.
So that's why I've been watching you.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Any update from you? I love to watch you.
Thank you so much.
You've been doing very well.
Thank you so much. So what is your experience? What is your background?
Actually, I was having HND and I came for top up. top
Okay.
up at University of South Wales.
Okay.
Yeah, then it was University of Glamorgan, and now it is University of South Wales.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I
Now
just
you
want to
have
encourage people. Yes, I want to encourage people to go outside London if they want to travel outside. If they want to travel to the UK, they should go
a UK.
outside London,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
especially Wales and Northern
Scotland.
Ireland.
Yeah.
Yes, yep.
Okay.
And then Glasgow too,
Yeah.
Scotland,
Yeah.
Scotland.
Scotland.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not
Nice.
always London, England, London. No, they should go outside. Wales is very good. Lots of jobs over there.
How long
Yep.
were you here for? A year, I guess.
One, 1 year, 3 months.
Okay. Okay. Have you
Yes.
heard of the pathway with people in IT coming to the UK?
Not really, because I'm
Okay.
not IT, so I
What do you
don't
mean
pay
you're
Okay.
not
attention to that one.
IT?
No, I don't do. Oh, I didn't do IT. My
Okay.
concentration is business. Yeah,
Okay.
marketing and logistics. That's my
Okay.
field.
Do
Yep.
you know that
Okay.
there are
Yep.
IT? There
Yeah.
are
Yep.
some disciplines in IT that will
Yeah.
best
Yep.
suit what you just said, like a business analyst and all of that. That is
Yeah.
still related to business, but it's still marketing. I'm just saying this because you have
Yep.
been here and then you want to come back and then you want an opportunity
Yep.
to come back. One, you
Yep.
have UK education, you are in
Yep.
marketing,
Yep.
you have a background in marketing, have a background in business, and now the hot
Yep.
cake is IT, is tech.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
so there's a
Yep.
way that you can still
Yep.
make use of the IT pathway with
Yep.
your business and marketing background to still come
Yep.
to get a job to the UK income. And that's what we're going to talk about today. And I would be really
Okay.
grateful if you
Yep.
watch it to the end or save it and then come back to it later to watch.
I
Yeah.
will. I'm
Yeah.
ready and I'm watching you guys.
Fantastic.
Thank
Just to
you.
add to that very quickly,
Yep.
marketing itself, the underlying drivers of marketing is data. Okay,
Yep.
because
Yep.
you do your customer segmentation. You want to know the
Yep.
people who are interested in your product or your services. So to target specific content to them, you need to have their demography. You need to know
Yep.
where they stay, who they are, and so on and so forth. And the underlying driver of that is data, essentially. So one of the
Okay.
easiest crossroads from marketing to IT is as a
Yep.
marketing analyst, as a
Yep.
data analyst, because you'd find yourself not the one doing the marketing this time around, but recommending to the marketing team based on your customer segmentation models and so on and so forth. So it's easier for the for the company to target the type of customers for specific type of services and products. So
Yep.
you have a very good background, Zenobia, and even in business or logistics,
Yep.
you can
Yep.
become a demand planner. A demand
Okay.
planner is simply a logistics analyst. So when you look at logistics, supply chain analyst, logistics analyst, it's simply the fusion of data analytics, data science with logistics itself. So you
Yep.
find different functions that you can
Yep.
easily combine with analytical skills, and that gives you even better opportunities in the job market. So you have roles like accounting, becoming financial analyst, becoming commercial analyst, becoming
Yep.
financial planning and analysis professional. So one of the fastest ways, one of the best ways you can easily come back to the UK, but this time around, not through the study pathway, but the skilled worker visa, is using the current functional skills in marketing or business or logistics with data analytics or data science. And that gives you, numerous opportunities in the job market. If that makes sense, Zenobia.
Yep. Yes. That's pretty
Absolutely.
good. Yep.
Yeah, Zenobia, I'll leave details on how you can maybe reach out to Mr. Desert and his team better,
That was
okay,
good.
or
Yep.
later, so that
Okay.
you can still stay on here and then listen
Yep.
to the rest of the show. It'll be very good.
Yep.
You'll be blessed. Let me just put it like that.
Okay. Yep.
All right. Thank you so much for tuning in.
You're
Next time I'll see
welcome.
your face.
I will. Thank
Okay.
you.
You're welcome. Ngozi is asking that, Nanel, I'm addicted to you. Please, addiction is bad. Whatever it is that addiction is bad, please. I pray like cast that addiction out in the mighty name of Jesus. Ngozi, how are you doing? So you're asking if I think the self-sponsorship route for nursing immigration to the UK is good. And do I think I can get your job? You can get a job with your PIN. So yes, honestly, now getting a job in the UK is hard as a nurse. Okay, it's hard. It's not as easy. They've cut funding for sponsorship and all of that. Another
Yep.
reason why everybody's going to IT, right? They've cut sponsorship and all of that. So, but you making the initiative to come and do the whole process yourself, okay, it puts you at the forefront and you're more likely to get a job. You are more likely to get a job when you do it yourself compared to if you're still waiting to be sponsored. That is the truth. People have done it and they've gotten jobs, but it hasn't been easy. But you will get a job once you get your PIN and you do self-sponsorship. Any other question, guys? I have shared the link. Just join and then ask your questions. Somebody has joined called IJ, but it says your device is not connected. I don't know why. So I don't know if you can try again later. Okay. All right. Mr. Adeza, so as we were saying,
Yeah, so absolutely. Based on what the Migration Advisory Committee, the research and analysis they published last month, they've really not said anything different from what we already knew, which is simply the jobs are in the IT space, the STEM ecosystem, essentially science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Okay, and one of the fantastic pathways where no matter what happens, irrespective of the current reforms, these career paths would always remain. They remained before reforms, and the Migration Advisory Committee is even advising that rather than stifling these areas, make it more open. For example, there is a plan, one of the recommendations, if you go to the bottom of that report, states that they should reduce the salary threshold. Currently, the salary threshold is at £38,700. That's not a lot of money anyways. However, for regions like, London, so it's a blanket threshold. It doesn't matter where you are. If you're in London, you are in Wales, like Zenobia said, you still have to meet that salary threshold of 38,700. But the Migration Advisory Committee is saying that why don't we, make it region specific? So London should have their own threshold, Leeds should have their own threshold, and so on and so forth. And this would bring more opportunities for jobs. Now, that's on the one hand. On the other hand, they're simply saying that the local educational system cannot cover the gap in terms of the job vacancies. In fact, before I jumped on this session today, I also did a little bit of research looking at the Office of the National Statistics and the numbers they had shared. Month on month, from January till date, you've had a consistent vacancy within the IT space of nothing less than 11,000 every month. And guess what? For the entirety of 2024, only about 20,000 skilled worker visas were issued within the IT space. Now, if you look at the month-on-month vacancies available from January, and let's assume it remains the same until December, you'd have over 140,000 vacancies within the UK. And how many people do you have to fill those roles? 20,000 visas were issued last year. So what happens to the remaining 120? The educational system every year only graduates about 30,000 people who are capable of also applying to those jobs. So 30,000 plus 20,000, that's 50,000. You still have a gap of over 90,000 jobs available. So who would fill those gaps? And that's the question the Migration Advisory Committee is also asking. Why don't we make it easier? Why don't we expand and extend these pathways to get more people into the UK? For those already in the UK who have the skills and who have the experience, how can we also bring them on board to cover those gaps? And that's essentially what, the report says in a nutshell. The big question is, and the question a lot of people always ask, just like Zenobia joined, I'm in marketing, okay? I'm in logistics, I'm in business. How do I do IT? We've had, what's her name? Ikmat was here the other time. Ikmat studied public health. Today, Ikmat is a data analyst, information analyst to be specific. We've had customer service professionals, HR professionals, logistic professionals, teachers, transitioning.
Like
Care
this
assistants,
lady just
exactly.
asked, I did mass communication in my ND. How can I
Yeah,
navigate to tech? I also have my certificates as a healthcare assistant. So
exactly.
yeah.
We had Ngozi who was doing care. We've had so many other people doing care. And guess what? Today, they are business analysts, they are data analysts, they are data engineers, and so on and so forth. And the question is, how can I also do the same? It's very simple. These are skill based areas, skill based career path. And when a career path is skill based, it means you can learn the skills, apply those skills on real world projects, and apply to get jobs. Because when you go for an interview for a data analyst role, you'll be assessed. Every employer wants to know if you have the skills to do the job. And as long as you've learned those skills, you've worked on projects extensively, you would easily pass those assessments. And eventually, during the interviews, you want to also show that you have experience doing that job. I'm going to talk about the experience and how people can also get experience and how we help people get experience through internships. All right. Because every employer wants two things from you. Number one is your skills, and number two is your experience. You combine that two together, you have competence. Employers don't care about your credentials. Something at we call it competence over credentials at Analytics, is a watchword you have to write somewhere on your notepad, on your laptop. It's going to be your screensaver. Competence over credentials. Employers don't care about your credential. They don't care if you studied in Nigeria. They don't care if you studied in Ghana. Do you have the skills to do the job? Have you done it before? Can you also share and show us that you can do it for us because you've done it somewhere else? And these are the key things employers are looking for, essentially. So it doesn't matter what you've done before. I studied industrial chemistry. I've worked as a data analyst, data engineer over the last 12 years of my career, and so many other people that we've helped to also land jobs. All right. Why are people not getting jobs? There was a research done around this too, because I saw the question just pop up. Why are people not getting jobs? Two major reasons. Number one, people don't apply. They don't apply. That's the reality. So the areas where you have opportunities, like I mentioned, the IT space where you have 11,000 jobs month on month, people don't apply to those jobs. And that's why you have so many gaps. The gap is so wide. I have a presentation. Maybe I'll have the opportunity to share that as well. The gap is so wide, people don't apply. That's reason number one. Reason number two, for those that apply, they don't have the right skills and they don't have the experience. What does that mean? For so many people, we try to do things watching videos on YouTube, watching videos here and there. We have a learning process that is not constructive. So at the end of the day, you've learned one or two things as a data analyst, but you don't have a comprehensive learning approach, a constructive learning approach to know what to start, the next step, and so on. So you find yourself in an interview and you don't know how to answer simple questions, competency-based questions that aims to assess if you've actually done this or not. And if you haven't done it before, you'd find it very difficult to share that during interviews. Okay. So, and these are some of the things that we also provide services around. You don't want to go into an interview without speaking to somebody like me, somebody who is an expert. So many, other professionals within analytics who have worked in the UK. They know what is obtainable. They know how you can navigate, answer questions around, tell me about yourself, tell me a time you did this or you did that while working on the job. All right. So those are the two reasons why people don't get jobs. For the person that asked, people don't apply, number one. And number two, for those who apply, they don't have the right skills and they don't have the experience. So we're going to take more questions as we move on. And
Yeah.
then I'm sure, yeah.
Okay. Thank you very, very. Oh God, I can't see the chat anymore. Where's the chat? Hey, okay, yes. So Funmilayo Awe, is that right? Did I say it right?
Aware, I think aware.
Funmilayo Awe says, I'm waiting patiently for the July cohort. Thank you so much. I know. Thank you, Funmilayo. And then when you are done,
Yeah.
just come and tell me exactly how it was. Okay. Yes. Um Ngozi is saying that, Mr. Deza, I was meant to be among the May cohort, but due to some emergency at work, I gave my slot to someone, but I'm planning to take the course when I'm done with what I'm doing now. Will you
Okay.
give me, I know very well Ngozi wants to say discounts.
The discounts. I'm sure that. Let me tell you a very interesting story, Nanel. There
Yeah.
was somebody who recommended her friend. So she
Okay.
watched me somewhere, in one of
Okay.
our free sessions, and
Okay.
she sent the link to her friend. Her
Okay.
friend watched, her friend joined, and her
Okay.
friend got a job.
Wow. She
So
was so
she
good.
wanted to get a job, but her friend that she recommended got a job before her eventually.
Yeah.
So what I was saying, Ngozi, is you don't want to push this down the line because it's very easy to procrastinate, and at the end of the day, you miss out on opportunities. So as soon as you are done with that stuff at work, also make sure you join. You have an accountability partner, yourself and your friend, and you have, an amazing learning journey together. Okay.
Exactly what I was going to say. Do not procrastinate. But then you also have to be mentally ready for the program because it's not rice and beans,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
So you have to be ready. So when you are done with whatever you're doing, please, please, please. And then I'm sure
Yeah.
Mr. Teza will give you the discount you're waiting for. And
Yeah.
Precious is saying that Nanelle, I'm a support worker. I have no degree. Can I also be a data analyst? So obviously, Mr. Deza, we know that you're going to train them. We know that
Yes.
you're going to help them with the interview. We know that you're going to help them with the job application and even
Yeah.
give them the current job offers with sponsorships and all of that. We know
Yeah.
that you help them with their CV. We know that you help them with their LinkedIn. We know that you will do everything. But
Yes.
is the employer also going to look at whether what's their highest qualification? Does that
Yeah.
matter?
Sometimes it does. Okay. So I would say that we have so many people that have gotten jobs without degrees. All right. For some of them, they only have NDs. For some, they don't have any form of higher education, but they got jobs. However, it could be more difficult for you. And the reason why I say this is some organizations would have minimum requirements for you to apply to that job. And if they take that seriously, especially the educational qualifications, what you'd find is you get weeded out by the ATS before you even get the opportunity to have an interview. And you can't package education. If you don't have it, you don't have it.
You don't have
All
it.
right. So it's different from if I don't have Power BI, I can put Power BI on my CV and go start preparing immediately. I send in that application. But for your education, you can't do that. But we've had people who have gotten jobs, even though they don't have any form of higher education. So your options are limited, essentially. But there are still opportunities for you.
You see, Mr. Deza is not the type to lie. You see, he has said the truth. He's not the type to say, oh no, it doesn't matter. You just come, you get a job. He's been very honest, okay? And
Yeah.
that's what I like about him. Israel, you are saying that nice to be here. I earn about 50K pounds as a senior energy and carbon analyst. Israel, I want to
Fantastic.
hear from you. Wow. And my wife, oh, I was about to ask if you were married so that I'll give you a friend of mine. But you are married, okay. And my wife is on the health and care visa. Just asking, will the 10 years ILR pathway be dependent on the principal applicant? Israel, honestly, I wish I knew the answer to this. I know people are saying so many things online,
Yeah.
but until we hear that thing from the
Yeah.
home office, I don't want to say anything.
Yeah.
I don't know. We don't know. And we are just hoping and praying, but trust that immediately they drop the news, I'll be the first to make a video about it. Okay. So just keep your notification on it. But I want to know about what it is to be a senior energy and carbon analyst. And because it's very similar to this what we are discussing here. Please, I'll be happy if you could join, even if you don't want to show your face, just to hear you. Okay. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Let's hear what you do. I'll be interested as well because I worked in the
Yeah,
energy.
50K
So,
is nice.
yeah.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, Ngozi. Yeah, Ngozi has continued the conversation. We knew it was a discount you were talking about. We knew. Okay. Guys, you can join and then ask your questions. So there's if you want to share your screen and then show us something as well, we are ready.
Okay.
Guys,
Yeah.
please, whatever question it is that you have, okay, please join the live with the invitation link and just ask your question. You can also write it on there, and then we would answer. Okay. Okay.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and share my screen.
Okay. Mr. Elijah, do you want to say something? Mr. Elijah keeps joining.
Okay, so just like you said, Nanel, some of the key findings by the Migration Advisory Committee, and one of them is proportionate visa usage, which simply means that apart from the fact that the UK is bringing in migrants to fill in these roles within the tech ecosystem, they also have reasonable UK-based professionals also filling. And of course, you have just about 9% of the skilled worker visa going to IT roles and about 3% going to engineering roles. Now, the reason why it's proportionate as far as they're concerned, and this is my own opinion anyways, is simply because even at this 9%, it still doesn't scratch the surface in terms of filling the gaps available. So there is a wide gap. And it simply means that bringing in migrants to fill these roles genuinely addresses the gaps within this particular area. So what that means for you is there's a genuine massive shortage in IT in the UK. And like I mentioned earlier, last year, 2024, just about 20 to 25,000 skilled worker visas were issued to IT related roles. And approximately year on year, month on month, and at the end of 2025, we're likely going to have about 140 to 145,000 vacancies. 25,000, immigrants can't fill those roles. And even the educational system every year will churn out from BScs to masters, roughly about 30,000. So this still doesn't cover the gap. So you have a gap of about 90,000 and above. So who fill that gap eventually? And that's the big question you need to ask yourself. The pipeline is slow for you to train a graduate 3 years to 5 years, and before they move into the workforce, they gain the necessary experience that they need, and so on. Can you explain this data analyst thing? I'll explain it. Would have time to explain. I'll tell you what a data analyst would do in an organization, and so on and so forth. So I kept some links to some of the numbers that I have right here. We might not have time to go through everything one after the other, but you'd have my slide at the end of today's session, and you can, look at these numbers yourself. This is the Migration Advisory Committee research, and you also have the vacancy by industry. Now, I downloaded this data from the Office of National Statistics, the UK government, one of their departments, and it shows that on a 3 months rolling period, from January to March, from February to April, and from March to May, you've had an average of 35,000 vacancies. So between March to May, for example, we've had 35,000 vacancies, and only 20,000 visas were issued. And give or take, the educational system would give you another 30,000, making 50. So if we have similar vacancies from now till the end of the year, what happens? This cannot even cover just, March to May. So how do you fill those gaps? So for people who have the skills to apply to these jobs, you won't stay long in the job market for you to have access to opportunities. You are looking to transition. You are a master's student, for example. You are looking to move from Nigeria, move from Ghana, South Africa, wherever you are, to the UK. These are areas you should start looking at. Okay. There's also a positive fiscal contribution. And this simply means as a skilled worker, a migrant in the UK, you contribute a whole lot positively to the UK economy. Yeah. And that's simply because you are a high earner. Mm-hmm. All right. For the gentleman who said he's a senior energy analyst, for example, earns above £50,000. We've had people who their first jobs earned them £60,000 in the UK. That's a lot of money. There was this gentleman who was an accountant back in Nigeria. I think I've told this story before. He moved to the UK, learned data analytics, got a job with Cognizant in the UK, and he earned £60,000. That was his first salary. So you contribute more to the economy. And what that means for you is simply that the UK would prioritize people within this area, not even just in the coming years, but in the coming months. And with the new reforms, you'd have one of the policies you'd see in the new reforms states that there would be expansion of existing routes for the most highly talented migrants, and the skilled worker visa would be one of them. So on the average, a skilled worker would contribute about £16,000 per annum from IHS, from taxes, and so on. They contribute that to the British economy. And the dependents of these migrants, the skilled workers, contribute about an average of £12,000. Okay? So it means that your priority, if you have the skills, for opportunities that would become available in the coming months and are available right now. Of course, you also have the skills pipeline and immigration. Like I mentioned, the domestic education system cannot meet the demand. All right. And the Migration Advisory Committee is also advising that don't just bring people in. You can also boost the homegrown skills, the British citizens, boost their skills as well so they can fit into these roles. However, doing this would not reduce migration, especially for these roles, because of the major gap that you have within these areas. Again, I mentioned this earlier, the policy changes on the salary threshold. So currently you have a blanket 38,700 as the minimum threshold for you to qualify for a COS, for example, to apply for the skilled worker visa. All right. Yes.
I don't know if Fumilayo wants to ask a question. Fumilayo, do you want to ask a question? Can you unmute yourself? I see that you have joined us.
Okay.
Oh, hi, Manuel.
Hello.
Thank you. Yeah, I wanted to ask a question.
Okay.
But I was just thinking that I should just wait for for him to like talk more about data analysis, because I currently work as an external auditor in one of the accounting firms, but I've just been trying to like switch over to like something kind of like techish. So that's why I'm like, okay, let me switch like to data analyst or business analyst. I was just considering either of those two, but I think I just went for the data analyst registration, and then like I just wanted to just ask that question, that what are the like opportunities that kind of like available if I'm in that industry, and then I'm like switching over, because it's more like a career switch for me.
Okay.
So do you understand here?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. As a data analyst combined with your current role as an accountant auditor, that's absolutely phenomenal, because you open yourself to opportunities around, just like I was advising Zenobia the other time. As an accountant, you have functional skills in accounting and finance. Now, understanding how to use tools as a data analyst like Excel, Power BI, SQL, Tableau, and so on and so forth. You can take financial data, use Excel, Tableau, SQL to analyze that data and give recommendations to companies that you work for or you work with. For example, every organization wants to know, in terms of our financial health, how are we performing? Okay, what's our return on investment, our return on equity, and so on. So you'd analyze different financial ratios for them. When Trump makes a change, today there's a tariff of 50%, there's a tariff of 25%, as a financial analyst or as somebody who knows finance just like you, and you have data attached to your skills, you can analyze, look at the budget at the beginning of the year. You can analyze and carry out something we call scenario analysis, sensitivity and scenario analysis, to find out when this changes, if tariff increases by 25%, how does it affect the industry? How does it affect our organization? Okay. And these are the type of analysis you'd carry out. You'd have the knowledge to carry out something we call valuation. All right. Your business wants to go into another venture, or they want to open a warehouse. They want to open another manufacturing plant or something. Can you carry out a cost benefit analysis for them? Can you build a base case, a best case, and a worst case scenario model, showing them if they should take this step or not? All right. So you have very good knowledge, functional knowledge in accounting or finance. And when you combine that with data analytics, which gives you the skills to take financial data, analyze the data, and extract insights to recommend to companies, I think that's a fusion that, would give you opportunities. And in terms of absolute numbers, the data analyst career path is one of the highly high in demand career path in the UK today. And that's because an organization would need on the average, more than 5 data analysts for one organization. Because just like marketing, like Zenobia, they would have their own analyst who analyzes their marketing data. Then you'd have in finance, you'd have the financial analyst, you'd have, somebody maybe in a management information system position who reports directly to the directors, showing them what is going on in the business from a data point of view, and so on and so forth. Okay, like the energy guy who said he's a senior analyst in energy. You also have the energy departments. I've worked in the energy sector. There's a department called energy management. Energy management would also have their own analysts who churns the data, analyzes data, extracts insights, and give recommendations to the company. So as a data analyst, your opportunities are a whole lot more because a company would not typically hire one data analyst. They would hire 2, 3, 4, and on the average, about 5. And that's the importance of, the opportunities you have as a data analyst eventually. I don't know if I answered Fumilayo's question, but I think,
Sure you have. I'm sure
yeah,
you have very extensively. Thank you so much. Mr.
right.
Dega, someone is saying that, please. I mean, Alfred is saying that, please, what's your advice on the kind of IT course a banker and a teacher can take at 10 analytics? You see, it's all confusing the number of options they have at 10
Yeah.
analytics. It's like a very lovely buffet. Now, what should they now they want to know that if they're like a banker and a teacher, which
Yeah.
of your the options will best suit them, in your opinion? Like, what comes to mind right now?
So it's totally dependent on the person. And the reason why I say this is what aspect of banking, for example. And for a teacher, what we've seen is 2 major career paths the teacher would take. Just like Pavel. Pavel came here the other time, the Cameroonian, who is now a healthcare data analyst in the US. He completed the data analytics program as a teacher. Okay, we have another lady, I can't remember her name now. She was also a teacher in the UK. She's now a data analyst. And the reason is simple. Now, how would a teacher use data? Because you also want to look at, just like Fumilayo asked, I mean, accounting, how can I use data? How can I, make that transition from accounting audit to, data analytics? As a teacher, you can talk about so many use cases. Okay, let's take a secondary school, a high school, or a primary school, for example. You have your student records. Okay, you know the performance of students, you know who scored what, who didn't perform well, and so on and so forth. Now, how do you use that data as a teacher? You can analyze the data and identify, oh, there's this particular topic or this particular aspect where people don't perform too well. And I think you mentioned something the other time, Nanel, where they found out that for people who take a particular type of exam, they failed a specific question. There was a question where almost everybody failed and almost everybody passed that same type of question.
That stand out in America. Yeah.
Exactly. So it was easy to find out specifics where they needed to address in a school. Are there specific topics, specific areas that, people or students probably have issues based on the analysis of the data you have? But more importantly, how do you even get that data to analyze? And that's where, even as a teacher who is transitioning to data analytics, one of the first things you can also speak about is building a database to warehouse the data of all the students. The database is a central environment where data is stored. So in any organization, the NHS, NatWest, Lloyds Bank, they have a data warehouse, a database where data is stored. You can build a database in a school. All the data from the students' scores, their results, and all of that is stored in that database. So That's one use case, I can give to you. Data analytics, we've seen from the research, is very good for teachers in terms of transitioning from teaching to data analytics. Again, for bankers, I think bank teller customer service. Customer service, there are two areas you want to look at: data analytics or business analysis. Okay, data analytics or business analysis. Because as a customer service professional, you can easily translate every single thing you do into analyzing data. And I'll give you examples. All right. When you speak to customers every day, say you speak to about 300 customers in a day, apart from just speaking to them, what were their pain points? If there was a way to capture the pain points of customers, so if customer number 1 mentioned a particular type of pain point, customer number 50 mentioned that similar type of pain point, and you capture the data, it's easy for you to analyze, identify common pain points among customers, and recommend to the team to provide a solution to address those pain points, so that more customers don't come back to complain about the same type of issues. Now, you can also take your customer data as a customer service professional and create a customer segmentation model, because you have insights into the type of customers your company works with. All right. If you even look at age groups alone, you look at income level, you look at different aspects of the customer demography, it's easy for you to categorize customers into different buckets and recommend to the marketing team like Zenobia that for these type of customers, target them with these products or services, and that's where you get increased revenue because you are meeting those customers at their point of need. Now, you can also consider the business analysis aspect, because transferable skills is also something important when transitioning. In customer service, as a business analyst, a lot of your responsibilities would center around interviewing, elicitation, speaking to people, understanding the requirements that you need to solve a problem. Okay, you would manage stakeholders. You'd be in a meeting where you are communicating updates on projects that you are managing, you are working on, and so on and so forth. So communication is very important for you as a business analyst. Active listening is also very important as a business analyst, because if you are conducting an interview to elicit information from your stakeholders, you want to capture those requirements and ensure that you are listening to the needs of your stakeholders. So as a customer service professional, one of the first things you need to have is communication skills and active listening skills. Okay, how to manage people and ensure that things don't go overboard. So stakeholder management is also another key function of the business analyst. So if you look at customer service, you look at business analysis, that you have transferable skills from a customer service role, which can feed into a business analyst role. So that also gives you opportunity. So for a customer service professional, just like Ramat, I'm not sure if Ramat came here, but I'm going to show you Ramat very quickly. Ramat was in customer service in the UK, working for British Gas as a customer service rep. This is Ramat. Today, Ramat is a business architect with the NHS on sponsorship, and she did that after completing the business analysis program. So success is always based on what we have seen succeeding in the past for customer service, data analytics, or business analysis. And how do you decide to choose one out of the two I've recommended? If you are somebody who doesn't want to be, customer facing, you don't want to speak to your stakeholders are both internal and external. All right. So you want to be at the back end, you want to do a lot of your work and just come to present and show what you've done. You don't want to have to meet with Nanelle today, ask Nanelle questions, get feedback from her, meet with the CEO, meet with the head of, this unit, and so on and so forth. You can't become a business analyst. A business analyst is somebody who must be willing to always be at the forefront, communicating, leading projects, interacting with stakeholders, managing stakeholders, and so on. So the data analyst has more leverage to walk behind the computer, do their work, their analysis, and all of that, and present their findings and recommendations. So that's something you can consider when trying to select one out of the two. I hope I answered that question.
I'm sure you have answered. Hey, Mr. Deza will answer. Mr. Deza. Fumilayo was saying that, wow, thank you so much for this explanation. There are people asking impatiently for the tuition, but we will get to that very soon. They want to know how much it is.
Yeah.
Elijah, is this our Elijah or this a different Elijah? I've seen that an Elijah has joined. I just want to know if it's honorable or is somebody else.
Okay.
Please, somebody asked a very important question. I hope I don't miss it. It was a very, very important question. Okay, so RK is saying that what can be done to make your job in IT AI proof?
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
AI improves, a lot of entry-level jobs are being eliminated. What
Yes.
can be done to ensure your role isn't impacted by AI? And this is a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant question. Mr. Adeza will answer this.
Yeah, it's a brilliant question. And it's a question that, of course, for us at Analytics, we had started working on this since last year, 2024. All right. AI is going to come, it's inevitable. We can't run away from it. 5 years from now, a whole lot of roles will disappear. And this was even indicated in the World Economic Forum Future of Jobs report. 172 million roles in the next 5 years will disappear. So I beg your pardon, 92 million, not 172. 92 million roles will disappear. And then 172 million roles would be created based on the new, the advent of AI, digitalization, and so on and so forth. Now, for you to stay competitive and for you to stay ahead of the curve and always remain relevant is to always upskill. It's as simple as that. All right. There are certain jobs AI would take, especially entry level roles. AI would take them. And the only way to stay competitive is to always upskill. Now, one of the things that we started to do last year, 2024, was to embed AI, especially prompt engineering, into all our programs. So for data analytics, there is a module for AI for the data analyst using tools like ChatGPT and so on. The same with business analysis, data engineering. You'd learn how to use the Copilot, GitHub Copilot, and ChatGPT as a data engineer. All right. So once you start upskilling in this way and going into 2026, one of the things we're also looking to do is introducing an AI engineering program as well. So if you're a data analyst, you're a data scientist, you are a data engineer, the next thing for you to do is to broaden your skills in the AI ecosystem. Okay. It's not going to come as fast as so many people predict. It's called information porn. All right. It's a scare tactics. A lot of people get scared. There's a little bit of hurry. Everybody today is saying one thing with AI or the rest. All you have to do is to get started. That's the most important thing. If you're a data scientist, you want to upskill, learn something around AI engineering, AI research, and so on and so forth. And as long as you stay ahead of the curve, you'd always remain relevant. Okay. AI would take so many jobs, but it will complement those who have the skills in that area to do their jobs a lot better and a lot faster. Okay. So that's the advice I always have. But for us at Analytics, we started this since last year, embedding AI across all our programs. As a data scientist, you'd learn GitHub Copilots, you'd learn ChatGPT for data science, and so on, and across all the other programs as well.
Okay. This question just came to my mind. So let's say I enroll with 10 Analytics and I go for, let's say, business analyst. Okay. If I see a data analyst job, can I still apply? Or it's totally different?
So it's very tricky. Okay. It's possible. We've seen it happen, but that shouldn't be your objective going into that career path. And if you give me time, I'll explain the reason why. Okay. Now, as a business analyst, you'd learn Excel, you'd learn Power BI, let me call it PBI, and you'd learn SQL. As a data analyst, you'd also learn Excel, okay, you'd learn Power BI, you'd learn SQL, and you learn, some other tools. You'd learn Tableau, you'd learn Fabric, Microsoft Fabric, let me call it MS Fabric, data storytelling, and so on and so forth. But it's easy to see that, as a business analyst, I'm learning Excel, Power BI, and SQL. As a data analyst, I'm also going to learn Excel, Power BI, and SQL, which means I can do some of the work that a data analyst would do, but it's not exactly the same.
Okay.
All right. And this is the simple explanation. As a business analyst, you have no business learning every single thing about SQL. SQL itself, SQL, structured query language, which is the language that enables you interact with a database. Remember, I said organizations store their data in a database. Let's say the database is a bucket right here, DB. For you to get data from that database, you need to know how to use SQL, structured query language, which is broken into 3 different parts: DDL, DML, and DQL. DDL is data definition language, DML is data manipulation language, and DQL is data query language. Now, what does this mean? It sounds like gibberish, right? DDL, data definition language, is what you use to build this database. The language you use to construct, to build the database. DML, data manipulation language, is the language you use to make adjustments to that database you've already constructed. So let's assume you construct the database. Let's say it's a house. You construct the house. It has 2 rooms, but you want to manipulate it to have 3 rooms instead of 2 rooms. The language you would utilize to include or add an additional room is the DML, data manipulation language. Now, the DQL, the data query language, is the language you would use to extract information, extract data, I beg your pardon, from the database.
Okay.
The business analyst, when learning SQL, would learn DQL only because that's your business with the data. You need to interact with the database to extract data from that database. The data analyst would learn DDL, DML, and DQL. So if you find yourself in a data analyst role as a business analyst, you might find some tasks and activities that'll be a little bit more difficult than you anticipated because you didn't learn those specifics while learning the program. So I always advise, pick one, choose that one, go all in, double down, and you will get that job. And that should always be the focus every time. But we've seen it happen, Nanel, where you have a business analyst getting a job in data analytics or even as a business data analyst and so on. But it's not very common because of these nuances.
Okay. As you can see from Mr. Adeza, you can see he's a very good teacher. He explains so well for you to understand. Alfred is saying, thank you so much, sir. Well answered and very much appreciated. Yes, Alfred, you're welcome. Godwin has asked this twice. He says, please, how much is the tuition fee? And he said, please, how much is the tuition fee and what's the duration of the program? Godwin will answer you very shortly. So do you want to answer Godwin now, or do you want to say something before you answer him?
Yeah, I'm going to answer Godwin right away. So I'm just going to move past this now. And this is the framework that we leverage, the framework that has helped so many people who have made the transition to transition successfully. These are the 8 career paths you want to focus on if you want to land a job in the IT space. If you're in the UK, different other regions, these are the career paths with high demand. Okay, so all you have to do Pick one, double down on it, like I said, and you'd find yourself focus, and you'd find yourself in a job in the shortest time possible. But this is not enough usually, because you have so many people who they've gone so many places to learn in so many ways, but they haven't learned in the proper way. So one of the things we emphasize is don't just learn the skill, learn in a self-paced environment and learn from somebody who has been on the job, who has done it, and who is currently on the job, and can ensure that every single thing you need to know, you learn those things. So in a self-paced environment and also in a live instructor-led class, which is what we do at Analytics. So on a Saturday, you find somebody like myself teaching you, walking you through different aspects. We solve projects together. You have the opportunity to share your screen, show what you're doing. This is what you're not doing right. You get instant feedback essentially. And this gives you the technical skills that you need. Then you need to package, the packaging aspect, which I dare say is one of the most important things you want to do. And what is packaging? Packaging is simply positioning yourself for the job. Okay, showing that you are the best candidate for that job. So we help you with your CV, which would ensure that you go past the ATS, you get into that room for the interview. All right. We help you with your LinkedIn, optimize your LinkedIn profile. If you don't have one, we show you how to create one. If you have one already, we show you how to optimize. And then you must have a portfolio. I've seen so many data analysts, so many data scientists, data engineers with no portfolio. Your portfolio is the evidence that you can do the job. This is where all the projects you've completed, you'd put them inside that portfolio, and the link to your portfolio would be on your CV. So before that recruiter even meets you, they can see the work you've done and how good you are, and they invite you for an interview. All right. And of course, you have your mentorship sessions every week, every Thursdays in the evenings. You have your mentorship session with myself, with the co-founder and other industry experts who would literally hold your hands to make you make that transition eventually. Interview prep. You have an interview. How do you prepare for that interview? You want to get prepared by somebody who has been in the fire before. They've been there, they've seen it, they've done it, and they can advise you on exactly how to answer specific questions. By just looking at the job description, they can tell the type of questions that will come up. If there is a practical assessment, case study, they work with you to ensure you get it done properly. The job reference, which is something we also provide, because when you join us as a contractor or a consultant, so you can get a reference from us. So if you're a teacher or you're a carer transitioning to business analysis or data analytics, for example, you can't get a reference from your carer to say that you can use Excel or Power BI. So where have you used these tools and technologies? You want to have the opportunity to associate yourself with a reputable organization that can provide and vouch for those skills. And of course, on the job support, if by any way you find yourself in a position where you are solving a task that's a bit more difficult than you anticipated, you can come back to us. We work with you to ensure you are able to surmount that. And finally is the application aspect. Nanel talked about this the other time, where you don't just want to apply on different job boards. You want to come back to the UK like Zenobia, you're applying on only read.co.uk, CV Library, and your conventional platforms. What we do is we subscribe to paid job boards, and we scrape those jobs, we vet the jobs, and we share them with you. And that gives you access to jobs that your contemporaries don't have access to. So there is less competition and you get opportunities a lot faster. Of course, we show you how to tailor your CV, so you never use one CV to apply to multiple jobs. And you know the number of jobs to apply to. On the average in the UK, to get a job offer, one job offer, on the average, you should have applied to 267 quality applications. Yep, so it's a lot. So you need to know the number of jobs per day, per week. You structure that and you start putting out those applications. Now, applying to jobs itself is not the only strategy. It's one, and it accounts for just 30% of you landing a job. Okay, the other 70% cuts across networking, cold emails, cold callings, which are the things we show you how to do as well. So you have a robust strategy to landing that job. And that's exactly what gets you here. Okay. I'm not going to spend time on all of this because I think all of you would have seen ICMAT. We had an interview the other day with Nanel. Okay, so I'm sure maybe Nanel will post the video somewhere. You can go watch ICMAT. ICMAT was a stay-at-home mom, studied public health. She wanted to get a job in tech. She did data analytics with us, and today she's an information analyst with the NHS. She started this job last year in January. She came up to speak about her experience. We've also brought Judith Ngozi. Judith currently works for a company in the US as a business analyst. She had a background in HR. She was a carer at the time she joined our business analysis program. And July last year, she got a job as a business analyst with a company in the US doing amazingly well. And so many other people. You know, I'm not going to bore you with all the testimonial. These Ramats from customer service to business architects.
I like Ramat's outfit in the picture.
Very interesting.
Hey, Ramat. Please let her come on next time. Guys, for
Yeah.
those of you who have not seen any of the videos that Mr. Deza is talking about, I would come back to this video later. I would link all of these interviews in the description of this live so that you can watch them, guys. They are so lovely. You would love them. And then you would resonate with some of them, and then it will make you make, your final decision regarding this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is God. His name is God. God was a student in the UK when he joined us, and today he's a data engineer. Okay. The specific job role is a data warehouse and ETL developer with the NHS, also on sponsorship. All right. So when I talked about that database,
is he a real human being? He looks like, you see, one of those AI.
This was picked. It was picked from his LinkedIn profile, but I'm going to show you.
It's a perfect picture.
I'll show you his. I'll show you God's.
He's a handsome dude.
Very handsome.
Yeah.
Let me show you God's LinkedIn profile very quickly.
Okay.
Okay.
God, don't be too excited.
Yeah, fantastic gentleman. Got a job this year, 2025, with the NHS on full visa sponsorship as a data engineer. Okay, so God, I don't know how to pronounce his surname, so I always just ignore that because it's a bit.
Is it not a Nigerian name?
It's a Nigerian name, but I honestly I can't.
Even me that I'm Ghanaian, I can.
Olugwenwi. I'm likely going to murder the name if I try, so I'm not going to attempt it. So this is God. God completed his program with us sometime last year, July, and he landed his job as a data warehouse ETL developer with the NHS this year, January 2025, and is also on full sponsorship. And he was a student when he joined us as well. All right, so that's God's story. So many other stories. Oyefikayo from finance to a business intelligence analyst. She joined us sometime last year in July. And by October, she had landed this job as a business intelligence analyst.
Nice.
So the structure of the program is 8 months. Okay. 6 months learning.
Godwin, you're being answered. Please
I'm
listen.
answering your question now, Godwin. All right.
Yes.
6 months learning, 2 months internship. So this is not your typical become a data analyst in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. No, it's an intensive, immersive program. Okay, 6 months, you learn the tools, you learn the technologies, you solve projects, you work on problems, and then you have 2 months internship. Your internship is with our sister company, Amdari, operating out of London in the UK and also Alberta in Canada. So you join a virtual internship. You don't need to commute to a physical office. You work with different other professionals and you solve problems together. Those projects you complete would get into your portfolio, and that's the evidence that you can do the job. All right. So your classes, typically your live classes, happens on Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. if you're in the UK, you are in Africa, you are in Europe, similar time zones. 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. if you are in Canada, in the US, North America, and so on. So 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain Time which is 12 noon to 3 p.m. in the East Coast in the US. All right. So you have a class that fits your time zone. So if you're in the UK, if you can't meet the class in the morning, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., you can join the class for those in the US or Canada, which is roughly 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. your time. All right. And you have that flexibility. And every other day, you have a self-paced class where you are on the learning management system. You are watching your videos, solving problems based on the watch me do it videos that have been shared with you. The next cohort is next month, July 5th. So for those who want to get started, you have the opportunity to join our cohort starting in July. And going to the fees, we have a discount for the Nanel community as usual. All right. And I love presenting this in pounds because most of you are in the UK, but I'll show you if you want to make payments in US dollars, in Canadian dollars, in euros, in Naira, in Ghanaian CD. So it doesn't matter the currency, you have the opportunity to also make payments. All right. So for any of the programs you want to join, rather than paying £770 to join any program, you have a 20% discount where you only get to pay £615. And this would be paid. You also have the opportunity to pay in 5 installments. £123 monthly for the next 5 months. And for those paying in dollars, that's $150 per month for the next 5 months. Okay. And that's the amazing discounts we have. And all you have to do, for those who have questions around, Fumilayo asked the other time, other people have asked questions. I'm a banker, I'm this, what should I do? Just join the community. Okay.
I've been seeing so many comments in my comment section that they join the community and they don't know who to talk to or something like that. So there's a piece assured that if they join the cohort, they'll be attended to. Okay.
You'll be attended to. All right. So join the community. All right. And two things would happen. The first thing that will happen is the link for you to book a clarity session at your preferred time would be shared with you in that community. Okay. So all you do is you click on the link, it takes you to Calendly. You select your preferred time, your preferred day, and you can choose when you want to have your clarity session. Okay, that's one thing that will happen. The second thing that will happen, if you want to talk to somebody specifically, just reach out to one of the admin. Elijah is going to be in that community, so you can easily reach out to Elijah. He would address any issues that you have. All right, so join the community, and that's where you get started. So you have the opportunity to ask me, ask my colleagues, and other professionals questions around, should I do data analytics or data science? Should I do data engineering? And so on and so forth. Okay. So take advantage of the discounts. To join, all you have to do is click on that link that says pay in installments. I'm just going to show you that very quickly. Okay. Let me use my other browser. So when you click on the link, it brings you here to the Enrollment Center. And from the Enrollment Center, you can select the program you're interested in. All right. So if you click on, you want to register for data analytics, for example, you click on that and you'd see where you can go ahead and make payments. Okay. So the slots are also limited. The discounted slots are limited at 15, at 20. It was 20 yesterday, but now it's 15. So 5 slots are gone. So here you can select your monthly plan. If you want to pay a full-time payment, you get a further discount. If you pay in 5 installments, you pay £123 per month for 5 months. Okay. And this is where you get to change the currency. If you want to pay in Ghanaian CD, for example, just come in here and type Ghanaian CD and it would appear. If you want to pay in euros, EUR, you'd see that, click on it, and you'd see the equivalent of what you'd be paying. All the fees here are discounted. If you want to pay US dollars, Canadian dollars, just do the same. All right. And you get to make payments. So once you do that, click on the link, secure your seat. Okay. And you see the timeline of your first payment, second payment, third payment, and all of that. and you click on proceed, enter your name, your email. Once you complete payment, you'll receive a confirmation to the email that you've provided. All right. And you'd also get a link for you to complete your registration. And that's how you get started. Okay. So I'm going to take more questions. If we have more questions, the discounted slots are limited. So you want to take advantage before all the slots are gone. All
Guys,
right.
let's thank you so much, Mr. Deza. Thank you so much. Guys, I have left the link. If you want to come on and ask Mr. Deza a question yourself, please do.
Yep.
If you sneak in to ask me privately or you ask me later, I may not have the answer to it. Evelyn
Yep.
is saying that my question is being answered. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Nes Jimo is saying that after the course, is the job assured? Who are the trainers? What certificates do we get at the end of the program?
Fantastic question.
Yes.
Brilliant question. So one after the other, is the job assured? We don't assure anybody of the jobs because we don't own the jobs. What we assure you of is we'll give you everything and more in order to land the job, from learning the skills to how to apply, where to apply, working on your CV for you, showing you how to tailor your CV to more jobs. We send you links to jobs for you to go ahead and apply because we vetted these jobs and these are the type of jobs you can get. When you get an interview, we prepare you for that interview. As many stages as possible. First stage, second stage, third, until you land that job. All right. So that's about that. Who are the trainers? Your trainers have a minimum of 5 years experience in any of the career path you'll be joining. These are experts who have not just done the job, but they are still currently on the job. So you have people that will take you from zero, no experience, no prerequisite, no knowledge, to you getting into that career path. What certificate do you get? You get a certificate from us that shows that you have skills in the particular career path you've registered for. And I'll show you what it looks like, because somebody asked me that question yesterday too. So analytics certificates. So this is on LinkedIn. So usually what happens, people get their certificates and they post on LinkedIn. So this is Osasere Ruth, or let me just call her Ruth. This is Ruth posting her certificate. So you get two types of certificates. The first one is certificate of completion of the program that shows the program you've joined. This lady joined cybersecurity, for example, and it shows your completion of the program. The second one shows completion of the internship. All right. Now, for you to join the internship, you would have completed capstone project, which is a form of assessment to show that learning has taken place and you have the right skills to get on the job. So you join the internship based on the capstone completion, and then you have another certificate when you're done with your internship. Okay. So I hope that answers your question.
Nes Jimo, I hope you've been answered. Godwin is back again. He's saying thank you for answering his earlier question, but then there's one more. He's saying that he's a psychiatric nurse who is still based in Ghana. Which one can he benefit from, business analyst or data analyst? Yes.
Data analytics or data science, one of the two. Data analytics or data science. Now, data science involves statistics. It involves Python. So you're going to learn how to code. Now, how do you decide between the two? Because that's a question that a lot of people would also, ask. How do I decide if I should go for data analytics or for data science? If you're somebody who, you ran away from statistics, mathematics all your life in school, in high school, university, and you think that this is not the best time for you to start learning statistics, then data science is not for you, because you have to learn statistics. Now, if you're somebody who feels, I don't want to learn how to code at this time, at this period of my career, it's also fine. You don't have to go into data science. You can get into data analytics. There's a career path for everyone. You don't have to learn how to code. Getting into tech is not all about coding. It's not all about statistics and so on. All right. So you just look at that, Godwin. If you don't want to learn statistics, learn how to code, then data analytics will be the best fit for you. If you don't mind, Because like I always tell people, the way you get to learn, if you listen to ICMAT, for those of you that joined ICMAT session, or for those of you that joined Pavel, you have the most patient teachers. No question is stupid. They answer every single question a million times if they have to answer the question a million times. So you learn from people who are patient to walk you through the rudiments. So it's never going to be a problem for you to learn the skill. But again, if you don't want to go into statistics, you don't want to go into programming, then data analytics would be the best for you to go for.
Oh, Jennifer, why are you not listening? There is a certificate. So in fact, there are two of them. I'm
Yes,
sure
two.
that if you go back to the last 2 minutes before this,
Yes.
you see the certificates. Besides, there's actually showed from somebody's
Yes.
post on LinkedIn.
Yes.
Hey, no. No. Hey, digital CT, you are stingy. Please choose one and
Just
do it and pay. Please,
yes.
it's not for all 8 subjects. You can't do all 8 in that 6 months. No.
It's not
You can't.
possible.
No. So you choose one. And then that's where we are saying that if you don't know exactly what to choose, that's why Godwin has come to us that he's a psychiatric nurse in Ghana, which one would be more beneficial. So you can book a call, you can join the community and book a call with Mr. Deza or any person from their team, and then they'll sit with you, and then they'll ask you questions about, let's say, your experiences, your background, and they'll help you decide which of the 8 will most benefit you based on your previous knowledge and based on your educational qualification. Then they'll help you choose one of them. You can't do all 8 of them. You can't be a data analyst, cybersecurity, business analyst. You can't do all of them. No.
Yep.
Digital CT, where are you from? You are definitely Nigerian.
I don't think so. About
Okay. I'd like to know if the certificate is affiliated to any university.
No, it's not. It's not affiliated to any university. And just like we always like to advise people as well. And that question is a question that stems from our background and where we come from. We chase the paper, we chase the certificates, we chase the credentials. All right. I want to have certificates in this, that, and that. But that does not help anyone. And we've seen this from over 5 years of experience helping people. Okay. 10 Analytics will be 5 in the next couple of months this year. Over 5 years of helping people also make the transition. We've seen that certificates, credentials, your BSc, your master's, what you studied, does not matter. Employers want your competence, your skills, and your experience. I studied in the UK myself. I studied in the University of Bradford in the UK. I did a master's in big data science and technology. And I'll tell you, if that was what I depended on to land a job, I'd have still been looking for a job today because I didn't learn anything that would have made me competitive in the job market. So quit that mindset and that mentality of I need this certificate, that certificate, this certificate, that certificate, and rather focus on building your competence, your skills, and your experience. All right.
Let me add something to it. Are you done?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay. So to yeah. So in this particular field, right, it is your skill that is more important. Okay. And that's why Mr. Deza is saying that you're going to actually have internship, which I think is one of the most important aspects of this whole thing. You're actually going to have an internship where you're actually going to work on real cases, right, based on what you are doing. And then you would have proof of this. You would be able to build your portfolio. And in this sector, that is what they look at.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys watch me a lot. I've said that my husband has a master's in petrochemical engineering.
Yep.
From a UK university, master's. And he was one of the few people to get distinction in his class. Has that got him an engineering job since he came to the UK? No. What are they always asking for? Experience. They want experience. That's all. They don't care that he had distinction in the masters. Although it is their own school, one of their top schools here in the UK, University of Manchester. That's not what they look at. It's to show that you have it. And so what? It's to show that you actually have the skill and the know-how. And that is why Mr. Deza is saying that after they have taught you through the 6 months, they are actually going to give you internship as well for 2 months with their sister company, Amdari. And then when you are done, you have certificate to prove you actually work on real life cases. And in this particular job sector, this whole IT tech sector, what the employers are looking at is your portfolio, which you'll be able to build during the internship, okay? Because you're actually going to work on real life cases. And that's what they're looking at, not your... If somebody has completed, let's say, University of Manchester, they've done, I don't know if there's a course like data analyst over there, and has nothing to show that they've actually worked on, cases. They don't have any portfolio to show. That has more portfolio, you are more, what's the word? Likely to get the job. Okay, that's what they're looking for, not the paper to show that you have done whatever. Okay, I hope I answered it.
Just to also show for the gentleman who asked. So in terms of accreditation, we are accredited by the American Council of Training and Development. So yeah, it's one of the things you'd also see on our website, you'd see on our slide. If you go to the Tenalytics website, one of the first things you'd see is Tenalytics, proudly accredited by the American Council of Training and Development. And this is the ACTD website. And that's, a brief about Tenalytics and what we do and what we have to offer. But like I said, and like Nanel has also emphasized, if the focus for you is just on certificates and so on, masters and all of that, you would stay in the job market for a long time. Okay, so you need to have a mindset shift. And it's one of the things we start with our participants during the mentorship sessions. Okay, it's competence. You have to be good at what you do. You have to be so good that they can't ignore you. So that's where you start from. And I'll show you what a portfolio looks like. For those wondering, what does a portfolio look like? So I'll go to one of our students' LinkedIn page. Let me see. Let's go to Victor. Okay, so I'll show you what a portfolio looks like. All right. So this is Victor. He's a data scientist. His LinkedIn is fantastically optimized. And one of the things you'd see is what's my portfolio. Okay, so if I click on this, it takes me to Victor's portfolio. Okay, so this is what shows who Victor is, what he does, his core competence, what can he do, machine learning, data visualization, SQL, database management. And then you get to see the projects he's completed. One of the projects I like to share because we can easily resonate with this is loan default prediction. What is this project all about? This is a project where Victor built a machine learning model. And what does that model do? It helps the company predict customers that are likely going to default on their loan. So taking different data from historical customers, using that to train a machine learning model that can tell if Nanel applies to get a loan, she'll be approved because based on certain, attributes, or she's a female, she falls within the age group of this to that, she currently has a job, she has this is her credit score and so on, she's likely going to pay her loan. And if this other person applies, the model can predict that don't give this person because based on the prediction, this person is likely not going to pay back. All right, so anybody can come here and read about these projects from the introduction to the problem statement and so on, and better still, even look at the exact way that Victor built this particular model. And make no mistake, Victor was just like you, who was a teacher, who was a care worker and so on, no experience and no knowledge, but today he's building machine learning models using Python and so on. So this is a portfolio, and what a portfolio looks like, essentially, it's where you warehouse all the projects you've completed. So a recruiter can come here, see what you've done, even before speaking to you or meeting you. They know how good you are, and that's what gets you opportunities to eventually land that job. I hope that clarifies. Is it online or classroom? It's online, 100% virtual. Your live classes are virtual. Let me see if I can show you what that looks like.
And no, it's a portfolio is different from a CV. I used to think the same thing, but they're not the same.
Totally different. Totally different.
Like I said, there are real projects that you've worked on, where you showcase, and that's what these companies are looking for, especially in this sector. Okay.
Yeah.
And then if they need a reference, you can actually get a reference. okay, from Amdari or from
Analytics.
analytics. Okay, so it's like everything. And if you start the job and you're struggling, they'll
Yep.
be there to help you as well. So it's all in
Absolutely.
one, all in one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let me show you what a live class looks like. Okay. So this is your classroom. You have a classroom for your live classes, and you also have the LMS, which is where you have your self-paced class. Okay. So I'll just show you that in the next 2 minutes, and then we start to wrap up. So when you join, everybody has access to a dashboard. This dashboard is where you have access to your classes, your lectures, and all of that. So you come and say you've registered for data analytics, for example. You come in here, click on continue learning, and it takes you to where you get to watch your videos. Say I want to learn dashboarding with Excel. All I need to do is come here, click on this. I go to dashboarding with Excel, click on my first video, and I can start to watch. All right. I can start to watch my video. In this particular video, you're taught by Efemena, the co-founder. Efemena is the best person that can ever get to teach you to become a data analyst. He's worked with DPD in Ireland. He's worked with Teleflex in the UK. He's worked with Dell in the UK. He's worked with the post office in the UK as a digital transformation analyst and so on. So this is somebody who has extensive experience both in Ireland and also in the UK. And these are the quality of your facilitators for the person who asks the question. Then you have your live sessions. Okay. Your live session is where, and if you miss a class, because every live class is also recorded, you don't miss anything. You come here, see what the material was all about, which is always case study based. This was a project for an aviation company. So you work on healthcare projects, aviation logistic projects, and so on. All right. And then you join a class where you interact with your trainer, your facilitator. And this is the recording to the class that happened. I think this happened yesterday, if I'm correct. Okay. So this is where somebody is teaching you how to solve these problems. You are in a class together. You can stop the person, ask questions, and so on and so forth. Okay. So this is what a typical live class looks like for you. All right. So it's an instructor led class. You solve that case study together, ask all the questions, complete the case study, and upload it into your portfolio. And that's how you build project and experience. And after you're done with your 6 months learning, then you have your internship. Okay. So, is there a flexible schedule for shift workers who are not assured? So, you want to have your Saturdays free. That's very important. If your Saturdays are not assured, before you get started, align your schedule. Very important. Now, if you're going to miss a few classes, maybe 20% of your classes or 10%, you can still cope because, like I said, you can come to your recordings, watch the recording, and you also have something we call the drop-in session. So what a drop-in session does, Nanel, like if you miss a class on Saturday, you've gone back to watch the recording and you want to interact with your trainer, your facilitator one-on-one, you join the drop-in session. It happens twice, Wednesdays, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. And a Saturday when you don't have a live class, you have another drop-in session from around 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. So you have the opportunity to join this drop-in session, to interact with your trainer and your facilitator. Oh, I missed the class last week. I was watching the recording and I have questions around this or that. And in that session, you have maybe about 2-3 people or 5 people who have issues. So you get that direct one-on-one support that you need. But if you're going to miss every other Saturday, you join this Saturday, you miss next Saturday, join the following one, miss the next one, it's not the best time for you to start because you'd miss too many classes and it will be a struggle for you. Charity, I hope that helps.
Godwin, the thing about this IT tech profession is that even when you get the job, you probably still be in Ghana and probably you're working for a company
Exactly.
in the US. Even
Yeah.
the job itself, they don't even want to see you in person. It's not care work, it's not nursing. Okay.
Yep.
So you don't have to be here physically to be able to do the internship. It's going to be done online. Because, like I said, even the actual job, you might probably still work from home. You understand?
Yep.
Yeah. For me,
Absolutely.
Layo is saying that please answer my last question before you say. For me, Layo, your last question is a bit too technical. I doubt we'll be able to answer it before we end. She's saying that if you are transitioning from a social media manager role to a
Yep.
business analyst role, what do you do about your CV, especially where experience is needed in the UK? This is a bit too technical.
Fantastic. I can't give you all the details on the
Yeah.
call, but there is something we call tailoring your CV to the job. All right. Here, so one of the things we do, how to tailor your CV. Okay. So the first thing is you upload your CV. We revamp your CV based on your previous experience and the career path you want to move into. And for every single job, we show you how to tailor your CV as well. Okay. So between these two sessions and multiple other avenues for you to interact with me, Fumilayo, and ask specific questions during mentorship, via emails, and so on, that's the list of your problem. Okay. So, yep.
Yeah. The last question we are taking is from Ms. Jimo. She's saying that can I be self-employed after the course? Is this
Absolutely. 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 So, of course, if you're not somebody looking for sponsorship and all of that, can I be self employed? Absolutely. So many people. We've seen people who are even 55 preparing for retirement and they plan to establish their own consultancy when they retire. So, they want to also add some, data analytics services, business and analysis consultation. So, they join the program because of that. We've seen people who completed their financial analytics program and then they started building financial models for companies in Silicon Valley in the US. So this particular lady, her friend reached out to her to say, I need a financial model. Do you know somebody that can help me? And she was like, this is what I just learned right now with analytics. Let me see what you want to do and see if I can help you with it. And she helped her friend, built the model for him, and he told his other friends, who had startups as well within, Silicon Valley in the US. And she had too many jobs to do, building models for them. And that was how she launched her own practice, helping people to do that. So yes, you can be self-employed as well.
okay? Thank you so much. Your final words. The next cohort is 5th July.
Yes.
Check the description of the
Yep.
video of this particular live video for how the next steps you can take, okay? Or just go on Ten Analytics websites and then go to the menu and then enroll and all of that. And
Yep.
remember to use an annual discount, okay?
Yes.
So for somebody who's not able to join the 5th July cohort, when is the next one?
Yeah, so you can take advantage of the discount and defer the program to start in August. So we have cohorts. We've had cohorts from January. We're going to have till December. The
Mhm.
difference is the discount that is applicable now would not be applicable in the subsequent month. So for somebody like Evelyn who wants to probably start in August, you can, but you have to take advantage of the discount this month. And while completing the registration, you indicate that you want to start on the 9th of August. So another cohort will start on the 9th of August. So for those joining around that time would not have the opportunity to enjoy the discount that you'll be enjoying today,
Oh,
Evelyn. Yep.
Adez. Why indeed? Thank you so much, Mr. Adeza. Your final words and
Pleasure.
then we'll end the stream.
Absolutely. So, I mean, the best time is to get started. I say this and I say this so many times. All right. For those who took, that advice, they're doing very well today. All right. So, what the Migration Advisory Committee, the research, the analysis they've put out is nothing new. I saw it and I was like, what were they looking at before? All right. You have a major gap, a major talent shortage in the UK, especially in the IT space. So, the big question is who would fill those gaps? All right. You listen to Ikmat and how she landed her job. You saw God's profile and how he landed his job. Ramat and so many other people. These are the type of people that will fill those jobs. If you don't have the skills, you cannot showcase that you have the experience to also do the job. You would not get that job. All right. So get started. Join the community. for free. You don't need to pay anything to join the community. You don't need to pay anything to even ask questions for consultation, because one of the most important things to us is for you to know exactly what you're starting, what you're getting into, so you can thrive on that particular career path. So come pick our brains, get started on the 5th of July. I look forward to working with all of you. All right. So wish you all the best, essentially.
Thank you so much, guys. All the fathers who join here, and we see you. Happy Father's Day. All the single mothers on here, happy Father's Day as well. Thank you so much, guys, and have a good evening. See you.
Cheers.
Bye.